Okay, don't need to do much more introductions. We're gonna play the Rob games now.
I assume you're using the controller quote unquote mod on an emulator.
Yeah, I'm using a keyboard on an emulator.
Gyromite actually becomes playable when you do that.
Yeah, you can actually play Gyromite. I tried playing Stack Up. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with Stack Up. So basically, it's just gonna be
Stack Up is a game that the game is supposed to just take your word that you did it.
Yeah. All right, let me.
Gyromite is a puzzle game that's actually kind of decent if you just play with a regular controller.
Yep.
It's not the best game in the world, but it's at least tolerable for the time period. Because I imagine most of our audience is too young to have actually seen or played with an actual Rob back in the day.
I am too young.
And if you've actually messed with one, it's a piece of shit. It doesn't fucking work. And when it does work, it's way too slow to actually be useful.
At best, it seems like a fun thing to place in your corner and have it watch you while you sleep.
It's there to be a decorative item at this point, yes.
Yeah, I want to Rob so badly. All right. Let me know if the audio sounds fine between everybody.
So yeah, I've actually played with a Rob. Reminder, I was born in 1990. There was so much NES stuff still around when I was young.
Okay, so the way you play the game is that you have to, you pause the game, and then once you pause the game, you press either the A button or the B button, and that then goes ahead and will activate the
pillars.
The pipe, yeah.
People are saying the game is a little loud.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot loud, actually.
Which, again, this game would be okay if you could use a normal controller. The problem is when you're using Rob, he is way too slow to actually be useful.
Okay, I put the volume down a bit, so...
You technically don't need a Rob for this. Mind you, you're using a little bit of emulator fuckery to do so, but it's kind of just meh.
So what are the flashes representing?
That is the game. That is the screen flashing to tell Rob what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it's kind of like a reverse duck hunt, in that the game is sending signals via colored flashes on the screen, and the Rob can tell what that is to do certain things. Mind you, it didn't work a whole lot.
Yeah, because Rob was so damn slow.
Yeah. And the technology was so basic that he just had difficulty figuring out what to do a lot of the time.
Yeah, so it's like a very, it's a very kind of average, what do you call it, like arcade style NES game that you saw a lot at that time, well, because it was a launch title.
Yeah, again, it's fine for 1985.
Chat has also flash warning, just in case anyone hasn't caught that yet.
Okay. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem considering all the compression from Twitch, but there's not much we can do about that.
Yeah.
Also, also this game is better than Donkey Kong because the doctor guy doesn't have fall damage. He can actually fall from a height and not suddenly die like Jumpman can.
To be fair, the NES Donkey Kong keeping that is a relic of the arcade game.
I'll also say that this game is better than Donkey Kong because Rob has a dump truck ass and Donkey Kong does not.
There we go.
I don't know. Have you seen the DKC model from behind?
That's true, but that's later Donkey Kong.
You may touch
it's still Donkey Kong.
And you can squish people.
The doctor has better legs than a carpenter.
Hey, I'm actually doing pretty good here.
Yeah, there's reason to give you 1,000 in-game seconds to do this because Rob takes forever.
And even then, you should probably just barely make it.
Yeah.
At first, I was thinking that it was a timer that would just go until it started and it just kept going through each level. But I'm glad it does reset. I'm assuming there are probably 100 levels or something.
Not sure.
255 maybe if they go special.
Shit.
Hexadecimal.
Ah, shit.
Stefan, be good at the game.
Oh no. Oh. I'm stuck. Oh, nah, damn it. I thought it was screwed, but I wasn't screwed that time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody has seen these games through the AVGN episode.
Yeah, and that kind of gives you a good idea of what it's actually like. He's not exaggerating. Rob existed to sell the NES in America, and that was about it.
Yeah,
If
technically,
there's
yeah, Rob saved Nintendo.
If there's one thing we know about
Sort of.
Nintendo, it's gimmicks. They will always have they always have had and always will have gimmicks somewhere.
To an extent, based on the controller memo from I think last year, that they're kind of shying away from that a little bit.
Chat's saying you can throw the radishes as a weapon?
Let me see.
Maybe.
I might have been pressing the wrong button because I tried using them, but it wasn't able to get it to work, so I might have been pressing the wrong buttons.
Possibly.
Okay, that's it. So you press the A button to pick them up, and you can press the B button to drop them.
Okay.
Okay.
The Goldstorm the Switch is the pinnacle of their gimmick-based design. I would say not really. It's not really a gimmick. It's just a natural evolution of combining their handheld and console divisions.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
'Cause it's really no different than a tablet that just has an HDMI out.
To the point that they got sued by
How do we?
one of them for doing that.
Yeah.
How do you throw the radishes? Because I picked them up, but I tried pressing buttons to throw it, but it didn't work.
Maybe you have to... Does it drop on your character sprite or in front of you?
No, it's like he picks it up
But,
Right, but when you let go, does it drop, like, where you're at or in front of you?
in front of me. I think
But,
it's just used to distract.
That might be...
but,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it's just as a distract. But, yeah, just based on that, and I think it was last year that they kind of had an investors meeting, and Furukawa basically said, yeah, we're always kind of dabbling in new controllers and stuff, but we still haven't found anything even remotely close to just being naturally comfortable like a controller is, so we're just not going to bother.
Yeah, but even then you see things like Labo. Like they're still gonna have something somewhere.
Yeah, but
Labo
I think it's less a core design of their business.
Well, yeah, I
Compared
mean,
during the Wii and the Wii U, it's like they'll dabble in small little things here and there, but it's not going to be the driving force it used to be.
yeah. But I was just saying that gimmicks are like they're still gonna have gimmicks somewhere, either Labo or what's Ring Fit, stuff
Yeah.
like that. They'll always find a way.
Yeah, which is fine. That's where gimmicks should be.
Yeah.
Side peripheral things that may tap into a new market, but doesn't come at the expense of just making video games for your audience.
Yeah, it's part of their charm.
Yeah. Whereas compared to the Wii and Wii U days, where the gimmicks were the console, and it kind of bit them in the ass, and a lot of people saw that coming.
Ah, damn. All right, I know what I gotta do.
I would have liked to see this in an actual game. Like the puzzle gimmick isn't that bad.
Yeah, no, the puzzle gimmick's fine. It's just it's attached to Rob.
Yeah. Imagine if PS5 was a pure VR system. No, thank you. I'm good.
No.
I like my PSVR, but no.
No, they said today that it was compatible with the PSVR, so that's good.
Yeah, I figured as much. I figured they would have Gen 1 VR compatible,
Yeah.
and then a Gen 2 VR would come probably next
It was
year.
so annoying. It's like Sony's like, yeah, if you're gonna play PS5 games, you need to use the PS5 controller because it has things that the PS4 controller doesn't. And it's like, why? It's like, how do you expect controllers to work on new systems?
Yeah.
So we've only been doing this since the NES going to Super Nintendo.
Yeah. And the DualShock 3 doesn't work on the DualShock 4. It works the other way because they made it backwards compatible. But
Yeah, so it's like, what do you expect, guys?
yeah, I do get it to some extent though, because you know that controller is probably gonna be $100.
Unfortunately, that's just every system at
I think
this
I'm
point.
stuck. I think I'm stuck. I
Yeah.
can't.
We wish it wasn't the case, but that's just kind of how it is now.
Yeah.
Damn.
Rip.
Whoops.
Yeah, the PS5 controller might work backwards compatible on the PS4. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting full forwards compatibility, but I do think some games will have compatibility.
They said every PS4 game that's going to be playable on PS5 will use the DualShock 4 if you want, which is expected.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
So-
I didn't read what they had said yet.
It basically, most of their peripherals from PS4, like VR, fight sticks, and all that, will work just fine on the PS5. and PS4 controllers DualShock 4 will work for any backwards compatible PS4 games.
Okay.
So it's like, that's fine.
Yeah, because the only thing, like, haptic triggers are nice, but like, I can't see too many games besides whatever Sucker Punch makes that actually use the PS5 controller's gimmick.
It does a few little things, like it has the HD rumble that Nintendo uses and things like that. So there's enough there to where I understand why.
Yeah,
you can't just use the PS4 controller on the PS5. So
yeah, but I'd be relatively surprised if after a year there's like I said, more than Sucker Punch, they're the only ones that use the DualShock 4's gimmicks besides the light bar.
Yeah, Naughty Dog a little bit.
Yeah, every now and then. It's weird because I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, and it's so weird because Sucker Punch was the only team that really used the noise coming out of the controller, the microphone out.
Yeah.
Or the speaker out rather. They were the only ones that really used that. And then to have it again in Ghost of Tsushima threw me off because they really haven't done that in most games since.
Yeah.
So
how far in are you? I'm playing it myself.
I'm not very far. I've been kind of going through all the side stuff in Act 1.
Yeah, I'm super methodical too. I'm in Act 2, and I've like completely cleared out the bottom half.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think I would, but it's much more compelling in an open world than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, it's not. There's enough to do and look for without being Assassin's Creed 2 levels of find 100 little trinkets just scattered about you don't care about.
Yeah, no, and they weave it all in pretty well, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying the game.
Same. This one of the ones I was skeptical about, just knowing how much development hell it was in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Tsushima State of Play thing earlier this year is what really sold me on. I'm like, okay, I can see what they're doing now. I'll give it a shot, and then it turned out way better when I actually got it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to get more through it and keep playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it's just weird because it reminds me of how I know I've mentioned Sly a lot during these streams, but it reminds me how with Sly 4, Sanzaru incorporated a bunch of early PS3 gimmicks into this end of PS3 game, like the gyro controls and all that. It felt like what the early Ratchet and Clank PS3 games did, like Tools of Destruction with the gimmick puzzles using gyro, but it's in 2013, 2 months before The Last of Us came out. And it's just like when I see Sucker Punch doing these weird integrations of the speakers and other stuff with the DualShock 4, it's like, man, it's oddly comparable to what Sly 4 kind of did. Not in terms of quality, just in terms of like it feels out of its era already.
Yeah. Sucker Punch is weird in that I always felt like they're kind of the third child between Naughty Dog and Insomniac, where they don't quite have the budget, so they have to kind of make up for it in other ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could tell even with Infamous when they didn't know how to do hair.
We don't know how to do hair, so just make them bald.
Yeah. And then, hey, we got a hair guy. Let's give him hair. But it's still the same Cole McGrath character. And everyone's like, why would you give him hair now?
Yeah.
Just leave him.
So we have $25 from the Crazy Even, which brings us to $8,007.
Amazing.
He
break scatter in Japanese.
He says, back at work, put $20 towards whoever Takumi is for the Fire Emblem thing. And
Fire
$5,
Emblem. Okay.
$5 toward the Zapper for funsies. Oh yeah, congrats on 8,000, you beautiful man.
Okay, so it was 20 to Takumi.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's at 70. Oop, not 700. He's at 70. And it was, what was his name?
The Crazy Even.
So yeah, that's just amazing that we're $8,000 just over 2 days in.
It's over 8,000.
Oh, we should have had that on a soundboard ready. Damn.
What 8,000? There's no way that can be right, can it? I think it's right. It's so weird. I can't watch those early episodes of Dragon Ball Z with the Funimation dub. It has to be Ocean.
I get that. I grew up a little bit. I grew up after Funimation's dub started, I think, or at least that's when I started watching it.
Well,
so,
okay, it's a bit weird. Where did you grow up exactly? Just so we have a little bit of frame of reference.
Pennsylvania.
Okay, so in America, what happened is Funimation still owned the distribution rights. So the Ocean dub was still Funimation broadcasting in America. It was just they didn't dub themselves at the time.
Okay.
So that's why they were using the Ocean dub. They contracted out to Vancouver, is where Ocean was. So that was the dub they used, but they still had the rights. What happened was, once they started doing their own in-house dubbing with like Chris Sabat, Sean Shamel, and all that, they started redubbing it at the same time they were doing, once they actually started fighting the Ginyu Force, after Goku shows up and beats the shit out of Rikum, and then back to Rast coming back to Earth and all that. So they were kind of doing both at the same time, which is... So depending on where you live, the broadcasting of those earlier episodes, again, changed really frequently.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never really looked up the history of it, because it's one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, it happened, and then I don't really ever think into it. But it's fascinating, because wasn't that part of the reason why, while they were... I think they were doing their own dub. That's why they would replay the first arc or so. Yeah,
Okay, Ocean was weird in that a different company owned it in Canada, which is why they had, the Dragon Ball opening and all that. So Ocean has a dub all the way through the end of GT with those actors.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so basically what happened is Ocean still did the Canadian dub of the series, but Funimation took over for America and did their own thing, but that kind of became the de facto English dub because there's a lot more people in America than there is in Canada.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of what happened. The Ocean dub of GT and such is really weird because they would change actors constantly. It was kind of like Deke's Sailor Moon, where after a while, again, this is back in the 90s where anime dubbing was really lowbrow work. You didn't want to do it for more than a couple months to pay the bills. So I think the only actors who stayed around were Piccolo and Vegeta for long term.
I see someone in chat, VT and Wesley, saying the consistency and production value of Ocean after those 2 seasons also got really bad.
Yes, it did.
Which makes sense.
Yeah,
they were just doing it only for Canada at that point.
Yeah, like Brian Drummond's Vegeta got super nasally after that point.
That's interesting. DBZ dub history is just really fascinating to me.
You ever listen to the Big Green dub?
No.
That's the UK version.
Oh, is everyone British?
No, they do kind of the thing where they try to put like fake kind of quote unquote normal voices without heavily accented, but
okay.
Like Gohan's name for Piccolo was Big Green, hence they call it the Big Green dub.
Okay, God.
And it's like cool. It's like it's that flying nimbus. It's come Magic Cloud and things like that. It's very weird, and the Malaysian dub is even dumber.
That's really cool.
You are Super Saiyan people too. And Atomic 293 says, "Let that child alone."
That's really neat. Someone in chat has a question for you. Their name is Blue. Read it. Chaos Blazer 321 asks, "Hey Ryan, I've got a question for you. Do you agree with Game Explain that Tsushima is the swan song game for the PS4? At least as of what you played."
As far as first-party titles go, most definitely. The swan song might be Crash 4, depending on how much they want to promote that and things like that. Because Crash is, regardless of how many consoles he's on, is always going to be associated with PlayStation.
Yeah.
So it could be Crash 4, depending on how that game turns out, but as far as first-party titles go, yes, the PS4. Which, it's a very good game to go out on.
Yeah, I've had this weird, not theory, but I've had this weird thought in my mind for a while, that it always felt to me like, based on every time we saw Ghost of Tsushima, it was almost directly after Last of Us, because no matter what, it was always positioned to come out a month after The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
So it was very much like hey, we got the game, we got the last game, so here's this one too. Like, here's that little epilogue sort of swan song game. But Tsushima probably could have come out before Last of Us once they delayed it the third
Probably,
time.
But I'm glad it got a few months, hopefully, for some extra polish, because the one thing I will give Tsushima a bit of crap for is that as good as it looks and how fluid it can be at points in motion, there are definitely points where the game's like, I don't know what to do, so your body's going to ragdoll, or this bear got you and you're against a wall and I don't know what to do, so you're just going to fly up the cliff.
Yeah, I've had a lot of character, like NPCs circling, just running in circles.
Yeah, they can't figure out how to get over a 1-foot fence.
Yeah, or their pathing is just wrong. Like, it's very much a video game. It's got video game stuff to it. It's got that weird jank to it that you wouldn't expect to see in some ways from a 2020 first party Sony game, which is fine. Like, it's still very good. Like, despite, and also sometimes because of that, because it reminds you that it is just a game. Like it's not, it takes itself seriously, but it's not trying to go too serious, which I always appreciate.
Stefan, how are you doing?
Yeah, what is this? I didn't want to cut the conversation off, but what the fuck is this game?
Oh, this is the bonus game where you just hop around and do stuff.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a separate game, and I was like,
You're effectively you're effectively controlling Rob with the commands on the buttons here, and you're trying to solve a puzzle with that.
Huh.
I'm assuming the puzzle is just fill in everything.
Not quite. You're supposed to be using like instructions from the booklet and all that.
Oh, good. Copyright protection.
Kind of, yeah.
So something that broke as soon as we went live, they confirmed Spider-Man in the PlayStation version of the Avengers game. I don't
Yes.
think anyone's really excited for.
I was expecting that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Sony basically owns the game and movie rights to Spider-Man at this point, so that's not surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they would wait and make that either a pre-order bonus kind of thing, or I don't know why they need to do it as a pre-order bonus since it's PS exclusive, but I thought it'd be like a free update at some point to try and rebuild hype for whatever that game's gonna be.
Yeah, that game looks super drab.
Yeah.
It doesn't look terrible, but it's one of those. Yeah, they're clearly just banking on the Avengers brand to sell this at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even when they first announced it, they put equal time to talking about the voice actors behind it, rather than
They talked more about the voice actors in the game. It was like, okay, you paid a lot for voice actors in this.
Finally, a game with Troy Baker and Nolan North. I'm sold.
Wow.
It's really a shame that that's IDOS and Crystal Dynamics working together. Like they could be working on another Tomb Raider and another Deus Ex, and they might be still. But like, it's a weird collaborative game that I don't think it's worth either of their time based on what we've seen.
No, not at all. That's one of those games that we have. What was it? The Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on Switch, was it?
Yeah.
It's like that's probably going to do a better job selling Marvel superheroes to kids than this is.
Yeah, and this one doesn't even feel marketed towards the kids. This one feels marketed towards the adult Marvel fans.
It's trying to appeal to MCU fans, but MCU fans don't want a video game; they want more movies.
Yeah,
Pops.
yeah. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it is really good, but I just don't see it.
No, I don't see it either, and that's not the DC fan in me speaking. That's just that's just the game looking very bland.
Yeah, it's.
I heard it was better looking the last time they showed it a few weeks ago or whatever.
Well, I would hope so after like years of development.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit better looking. Sorry, please go ahead.
No, I was just saying I just couldn't care enough to check in on it. So
Yeah,
No, I don't care either. That's a game that's going to come and go super fast, and it's probably going to sell decently because of. But that's about it.
yeah, yeah.
It's just weird to me that for all the MCU they've had, they've never tried to capitalize on video games with that.
Yeah, I mean, I see why they kind of tried to do it the way that they, where they're trying to build. I don't want to say it's a video game universe because it's not. They're not seemingly doing that, at least not yet. But to build a separate universe. Because in the PS4 Spider-Man game, they mentioned like, oh yeah, all the Avengers are on the West Coast doing something when you look at the Avenger Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw someone on Twitter.
Apparently, the Spider-Man in the Avengers game is not PS4
Yeah.
Spidey.
Yeah. So like,
They're just separate, apparently.
I think we might be running into some technical.
Yeah, Stefan is having some issues.
Okay, I can hear us in voice chat, so we are here.
Yeah.
I think-
Can the stream hear us? Because the video is
Yeah.
frozen on my end. So
the stream can hear us, but the gameplay is frozen.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so
we're
they can
frozen.
hear us. So it's something on Stefan's end that
Yeah,
we're
so
not
we
sure
will
what it
just
is.
keep talking, and then probably move right around now to Wario Land anyway. So, hope you
Yeah,
enjoyed Rob. Chris, can you say something to make sure that we can hear you?
hi, I'm also here.
Cool. Do we have any new donations to read in the meantime?
Oh, 1 second. Let's see.
I don't.
No.
Nothing yet. No. So we're at $8,007. As a reminder, we are doing Subpar Smash Bros. As a week-long event until August 10th, raising money for the Diabetes Research Institute, We are at $8,007 of our $10,000 goal. And if you want to donate, you can click the donate button down below. It's a big button that says donate. Do the thing.
Donate now.
Do it or else. If you already have or you're not able to, we totally understand. Don't feel bad. We promise you it's okay. What you can do is share the stream out. Talk to us in chat, ask us questions. Keep us as interesting as we possibly can be to give you guys as much entertainment as we can. And yeah. What was I gonna say about Avengers? Oh yeah, it was just it was interesting because I thought they were going to play it as the Avengers takes place during Spider-Man PS4, but on the West Coast fighting whatever's going on. And then we see that the Avengers has a similar, 1 year later or 5 years later, Captain America's fucking dead. I think is what they did. I think it was Captain America that was supposedly.
Yeah, it's Captain America.
Yeah. That's just interesting. It's an interesting path, but it just feels very derivative of Endgame, kind of, with the whole we lost.
Yeah. Especially since they're clearly pushing Kamala Khan super hard in the new game. It's like, yeah, you're also using this as a vehicle to try and push characters you're going to be doing in the new movies.
Yeah.
Which was a problem the comics had for a long period of time, where Disney did not give a flying fuck about the comics, so they were just vehicles to push upcoming movies.
Yeah, Disney had a weird Marvel period there for a while where they were just
they
everything.
still do. But
yeah, I don't know if the comics are still that way, but I know there was a while where they were rebooting just to have the issue 1 sales, because those are always twice as good as
just the issue 1 sales. They effectively killed off Mutants and the Fantastic Four because they didn't own the rights at the time, which was absurdly petty of them, but everyone knew what they were doing about that. They forced a Civil War 2 comic around the time the Civil War movie was coming out to do a Iron Man versus Carol Danvers thing, because Carol was obviously becoming Captain Marvel in the cinematic universe relatively soon after that. So it was just a mess.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't know, you would think that Disney's probably the most powerful company in the world at this point. You would think that they could be better.
Oh, okay. Fucking.
Oh, hey, we're back.
Fucking fixed. Yeah, my snowball was being poopy.
No worries.
All right,
it happens.
I'll just play for a little bit more and then go on to Wario Land.
Okay.
Cool.
What I was trying to say before the thing cut out was that I don't think the whole Square Enix Marvel's Avengers is necessarily because MCU don't want a game. I think it's just the game that they decided to make just doesn't look that interesting. Which is partially because I think they're doing a weird thing of where Spider-Man PS4 is pretty much its own thing purely. They're trying to ape the MCU style but also do its own thing, and it's the same issue with Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, is that those two styles don't fit together. So you should either do one or your own thing.
I feel like at this point, dealing with Disney and video game form is just more toxic than it's worth in a lot of regards.
Yeah, I mean, even there was the whole stuff with Respawn. I think it was Disney that was responsible for this. These comments. There was a question by Disney about they didn't want you to play as a Jedi in whatchamacallit?
Fallen Order, and yeah.
Fallen Order, yes. I was gonna say Force Awakens, but Force Unleashed. I mean, either way, in that one, they didn't want you to play as a Jedi at first, I believe. They didn't want you to have access to a lightsaber or something. I forget the exact thing that people were talking about. But it was Disney was just kind of hey, don't do this. And this is after Battlefront, when they already had to step in on EA for EA.
For being
EA. So it's just Disney, make up your mind. I don't get it.
They don't know what they want for they don't know what they want for video games. They're just
they kind of did what they. Okay, Disney Interactive and any potential sub studios they had working on video games previously, they basically did what happened when, in the early 2000s, when they tried to court boys with Power Rangers and anime, and around that time period where they were just trying to explore other avenues besides being the princess company, where it didn't work, so they threw their hands up and took their ball and went home. And that's kind of their attitude towards video games, where if they don't get what they want, they don't give a shit.
I think it's also a case of just they don't need to make video games, so they feel why bother? Why bother attempting to do it?
Yeah, but at the same time, they also throw an iron fist down at any studio that tries to do anything that's slightly out of their corporate agenda about their franchises. So it's You get to do one or the other, Disney. You can't do both.
And I mean, to be fair, because I know like the Spider-Man PS4, even though it did come out on a Sony property, that is more so connected to Disney Marvel than Sony Marvel. Cause, like,
It's sort of.
yeah, because that had like the Marvel that was like Marvel Entertainment was like they had their like game division was in charge, was overseeing everything. So like yeah, so all Sony really has involved with Spider-Man is just movie rights. That's it.
And the interesting thing, if you want to not believe this, I wouldn't blame you one bit. But the interesting thing was that Insomniac, I think it might have been Ted Price, when they were talking about Spider-Man, he had said, yeah, Marvel came to Sony and then said, hey, we want to make, we want to work with you on a game. Who do you have? And Sony said, hey, look at fucking Insomniac. And then they went to Insomniac and said, you have free reign. Who do you want to pick? It wasn't make a Spider-Man game. Obviously, Insomniac then said Spider-Man, because why would you not go with Spider-Man?
He was the only proven commodity on Marvel superhero side.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just fascinating that they've been so open on some sides and then just so unopen on others.
Yeah.
Which again, classic Disney with modern era Disney, but yeah.
All right, I think I'm good. I think I'm good with
Gyromite stack up.
I'm good with Rob. All right. Well, gonna end this off, and Wario Land.
Do we have any donations before we head off?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No. So we are where we were.
Yep.
$8,007. Okay. All right. Wario Land will be starting up soon.
Cool beans.